Hey all stars, it's Mr. Kraft and it's time for Read It Aloud. Today I'm going to do a book that is really special to me and I hope you guys enjoy. It's a book that I personally wrote, I personally illustrated. That means I did the pictures and I did the words. It's about a time in my life and it kind of reminds me what's going on right now. About 10 years ago I had cancer and I wasn't allowed to go outside too much. I tried to stay inside because I could get sick real easily. And this will be explained a little bit in the book. And so I was cooped up a lot and by myself a lot. And I kind of feel like that these days right now. And I know we're all feeling it right now. It's kind of weird to be going through this with everybody, but I really miss my friends right now. And I know you guys do too. So what I did was I wrote a book about it. And maybe you guys can write something too and draw some pictures about how you're feeling right now. So the title of this book is called The Year My Dad Went Bald, and we will get into that and explain that in a little while. That is me. All right, it's called The Year My Dad Went Bald, a tale of cancer, chemo, and coping with a cold head. Now, I know you guys, especially in third grade, you guys are working on point of view. Who's the narrator in the story? I will tell you guys, the narrator of the story is not me, and it's not a third person. It's my son, Danny, who's now 19. He was in second grade when this happened. So this is written from his point of view. So he is the narrator of the story. And that's him, and this is me in the background. That's my dad over there. He's not the best hockey player or even that good of a skater, but it's great to see him on the ice. For a while, I wasn't sure I'd ever see him out here again. A couple of months ago, he wasn't feeling so good, and he went to see his doctor. His back was hurting badly, and he thought he had injured it somehow. The news he got was worse. So there's me falling on the ice. There's my son. He plays hockey, as you guys know. After school one day, Dad got a call from his doctor. I can tell the news wasn't good. He and Mom were talking in the kitchen and they sounded worried. I was getting nervous when they came out to tell me what was going on. You guys ever have that when your parents are having a serious discussion and you don't know what's going on? Dad has a kind of cancer, Mom said. I wasn't sure what that meant, but it didn't sound good. What's that? It means that some of the cells in Dad's body are reproducing too fast and causing problems in his body. I still didn't understand. Dad seemed pretty dazed and confused. The cancer is in his lymph nodes, which are growing too big and causing problems with his nerves. That's why he's been having pains in his back. I'm going to be all right, Dad said. I knew he was trying to sound brave and didn't want me to worry, but I could tell he was scared. The chances for a cure are really good. Mario Lemieux had it, and he came back to play for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Finally, something I could understand. I'm a big hockey fan. I knew that Mario was one of the best ever. The doctor says that chemotherapy should get rid of it. Chemotherapy? So you had to put it in perspective. This is Mario Lemieux. He played for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He had the same cancer I did, came back, and was an excellent hockey player. Now this is called a sidebar over here, like when we do Scholastic News, sometimes there's things over here. And these are some famous people who had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma like I did. Some of them lived, some of them didn't. Joey Ramone, Mr. T, John Lester, who played for the Red Sox, Roger Maris, Jackie O. So some of these famous people had the same disease that I had. So it's kind of encouraging for me because some of them did all right. Mom took me to get chemotherapy the next week. Mom took Dad to get chemotherapy the next week. I didn't get to go, and it didn't sound like fun. He had to sit in a chair for hours with a needle in his arm while nurses put medicine into his body. And this is another sidebar and explains what chemotherapy is. And it's basically medicine that helps get rid of cancer in your body. It's very powerful, though. The medicine was really strong and made Dad feel worse than the cancer. When he came, he didn't look so good, and all he could do was lay on the couch. Things got worse at night. Dad started to throw up, and he couldn't stop hiccuping. And I hate getting hiccups. I don't know about you guys. He threw up a bunch of times. Wow. That was not fun. Mom was getting worried. She decided to take him to the emergency room. Our neighbor came over to stay with me until my grandparents could get there. I watched some baseball on TV, but I was having a hard time not thinking about Dad. When I went to bed, Mom and Dad were still at the hospital. The next morning, when my parents were not back from the hospital, I was scared. My grandparents were going to take me to my soccer game that morning, but I didn't want to go. I wanted to cry. Grandpa told me it was all right to be worried, but Dad was going to be all right, and he'd want me to play my game. Oh, there's Danny with the SpongeBob pajamas. Now, he was in second grade, like I said, so. As the game started, I was having a hard time getting into it. Then I saw Dad and Mom walking across the field. Dad looked sick and weak, but he had come straight from the hospital to watch my game. I was so glad. I tried to play my best. And there's me not looking so hot. After the game, Dad went home and watched football for the rest of the day. That wasn't so unusual, if you guys know me, for him, but it definitely wasn't the same. Usually hoots and hollers whenever his team scores. Today, he didn't seem to care. This is how I usually am. Fly, Eagles, fly. This is how I was that day. Like, I can't move. I feel awful. That's how things went for the next couple of months. Dad didn't leave the house for a lot of days. After school, he didn't have the energy to play shoot hockey with me. Some nights, he even went to bed before me. Mom was getting tired, too. She had to do a lot more things around the house. We both had to do more chores since Dad wasn't able to help us much. So I didn't go outside much, kind of like now. Dad had to go to chemotherapy a couple months now. I remember that's when I got the medicine. And pretty soon, he started to look different. He started to lose his hair. Dad always said I made his hair turn gray, but now it was falling out every time he took a shower. It was on his pillow when he woke up in the morning. So, that's why the book's called The Year My Dad Went Bald, because the chemicals make your hair fall out. Finally, he said he'd had enough. Mom and I shaved his head, but I had to be careful with the razor, but it was kind of fun. When we were done, his head was as smooth as a bowling ball. And there I am, and that's how it went down. Dad said being bald was hard to get used to. He looked weird, and sometimes I had to look at him twice to make sure it was really him. I wanted to shave my head too, but Dad said it was cold to be completely bald, and as a hockey player, I spent a lot of times in ice-cold rinks. So I asked Mom to give me a crew cut, and Dad and I got matching Phillies hats, and we wore them everywhere we went. So, you guys, we got a hat just like this. So, I got a hat because my head was cold all the time, plus it looked better. One day, on a class trip to a play, my dad was feeling pretty good, so he went with us to a fancy theater downtown. It was the kind of thing you dress up for, so we had to leave our baseball hats at home. Most of the classmates hadn't seen Dad in a while, and they even pointed at him when we showed up to the theater without his hair. Some of the kids even laughed at him. It didn't seem to bother. He was laughing with them. I was just happy to be out of the house. Here's Danny. He's kind of ticked off because these guys were all laughing at me, but I didn't really care. While going through chemotherapy, it was important that Dad didn't get sick because his body was working so hard to fight the cancer. This meant Dad couldn't volunteer anymore at my school since kids carry lots of germs, and that could make him pretty sick easily. I missed having him at school, but I knew I needed to be brave for him. At home, we made sure to wash our hands a whole lot. And you guys, this is kind of like what we're doing now. We all got to wash our hands. Dad also changed his diet to eat more vegetables and fruit and no more junk food. He also took lots of pills and medicine, which didn't look very good. Didn't look like they tasted very good. Here. So I ate some vet broccoli. I had to take a bunch of medicine. It was kind of a drag. It didn't make me feel bad. We didn't eat out at restaurants as much because we had to make sure his food was clean and healthy. Mom spent a lot of time cooking and cleaning. So we were kind of worried. And so kind of like now, we don't go to restaurants much. This went on for months and months. The doctor said the chemotherapy was fighting cancer and winning, but Dad was getting more and more tired. Sometimes I had to get rides to hockey practice with my friends. He tried to make it to all my games, but sometimes he couldn't. And I tried to understand when he didn't have the strength. There I am, sacked out. Stay positive and everything will work out, Dad kept saying, but I could tell he wasn't too happy. He was never really sick before his cancer and didn't like hanging around the house. We didn't wrestle or play like we used to. He seemed pretty sad. I don't like sitting around watching TV that much. I'd rather be doing stuff with my friends. But things started to turn around. The Phillies made the World Series and won the whole thing. I even got to stay up late to watch the final game. So the Phillies are my baseball team. And luckily they had a good year that year. It gave me something to distract me. I hadn't seen them so happy in a long time. Mom and Dad even let me taste champagne. Yuck. So we are celebrating the Phillies winning the World Series, which is baseball. Then Dad started to regain some strength. He played basketball with his friends, although he got tired quickly. His doctor said the exercise was good for him. After 6 months, we finally got the news we wanted to hear. The cancer was gone. Every day, Dad seemed more like himself. He even started skating again. I'd like to say things are back to normal, but I think this is our new normal. Every few months, Dad goes for tests at the doctor to make sure the cancer hasn't come back. Mom makes him eat healthy food and take his vitamins, and now she makes me do it too. Thumbs up. And just about every day when we go outside to play, we still put on our Phillies hats and hope they will win the World Series again. But this time, when Dad wears his hair, has hair. So playing catch is something you could do now with your friends, maybe, or your dad, or your mom, your brother. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that book. I am fine now. I don't even go back to the doctor anymore. I'm very lucky, and it helps me keep things in perspective. You know, like this is a really hard time for everybody, but we're going to get through this. And I hope you guys are safe. I can't wait to see you again. Another good thing is I know if I ever do go bald, I'm going to totally rock it, because here's a picture of me, bald, looking good. But as you guys know, my hair came back pretty good. So, but if I ever go bald, that's how. So there's Danny when he's in 2nd grade. That's me, bald as a cue ball. And then there's after picture. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know. And I hope to see you guys soon. Stay strong. Take care. Miss you.